Gemini has the tea. Let me tell you, these air signs just be knowing everyone's business, but Gemini more than anyone. I just have to say, yes, even more than Libra, because I think it would be between Libra and Gemini when it comes to who knows the most, like whose hair is full of secrets, right? That's why our hair is so big, because it's full of secrets. And who is it when it comes to Gemini and Libra? It's Gemini, because although Libra is a social queen, Gemini, because they're Mercury ruled, I think they have more capacity when it comes to information, right? Libra is more so how people make me feel, and they'll remember more about people that they like, you know, Venus ruled. Whereas Gemini, to them, it's just information. They want to know as much about all of their test subjects, which is everyone in the world. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a Zodiac list that I am reacting to. This one is all about roommates, essentially what it's like living with each Zodiac sign. This one is by Sanctuary World on Instagram. They have a great page, so go check them out. And if this is your first time here, yes, I didn't make this list. I have videos where I make lists, but then I have videos where I react to lists that I find online, and this is one of them. And I thought this is kind of actually perfect for Cancer season. So happy Cancer season to all my Cancer placements out there. And if you didn't know, Cancer is ruled by the 4th house, and the 4th house has themes that are related to your home and stability and where you really, you know, start the foundation of your life. So a lot of that has to do with your living arrangements, and I thought it's perfect because it relates with roommates and what it's like having a roommate. And a roommate doesn't just have to be a roommate. It could be the sister you grew up with, the brother you grew up with, your parents, your lover, your friends, your actual roommates that you have no ties to other than the fact that you live with them. So really, it's gonna get juicy in here, and I'm gonna add my own takes to each of these signs as well, because here's some hot tea for you. When I went to college, obviously in college, you live with so many different types of people, and I lived in the dorms the first year, and I was lucky enough to live with my best friend from high school for that first year. But every year after that, I had roommates and we lived off campus. So I've experienced so many different signs, especially in the house that we had for most of my time in college. It was like a revolving door. We were the main ones. Me and my best friend Maya were the main ones that stayed in that house, and we were there the longest in that house, but we had other roommates that came, you know, as the years went on. So we've lived with so many different types of people with different types of personalities. And let me tell you something. They don't lie when they said living with someone can ruin friendships. It didn't happen with me and Maya, thank God. I mean, our friendship is strong, but you learn a lot from people and their personalities when you live with them. And I think it's just crazy to me. It's bonkers that some people get married before they live with someone. That to me is crazy. There's just certain things you won't know about people until you live with them. So I just think it's crazy that people consider a lifelong commitment before they actually live with people. I don't know. Do what you need to do. Could never be me. Could never be me. But let's get into the tea of what it's like living with every single Zodiac sign. Okay, first up we have Aries. What it's like living with you. No 2 days are alike. Yeah. You really don't know what's going on with Aries. All you do know is that they're getting into something. And you know what's crazy to me is that we don't talk enough about how private Aries can be. Truly, we don't. We talk about the other Martian Scorpio being private. And I think it's because Aries is a fire sign. People assume that they're, you know, putting it all out there. And they are. They can't really hide much about how they feel. But I've come to realize a lot of Aries placements are very private in terms of like what it is that they're doing. Is that just a me thing with the Aries people that I've experienced in my life? I feel like a lot of Aries people that I know, they're very private with like what it is that they're doing on a daily basis. And even though it's hard for them to be private about how they feel because Aries, they wear their hearts on their sleeves, but I don't think that translates into their daily schedule and what they're like as roommates. Like, I don't see Aries people being the types of people that like are sharing with you what they're doing all the time. And yeah, no 2 days are going to be alike because Aries is doing what they need to do depending on the day. You know, they're not really routine types of people. And they have a lot of energy, right? If they're happy. If Aries is in a good place and they're happy, they have a lot of energy. So they're doing shit with that energy. They're usually out and about. I don't see Aries being the type of person that's home all the time. So if you want a roommate that's home all the time, that you want to like connect with all the time, Aries is probably not the one for you. They want to be out and about doing shit. But also what I do like about them is that if Aries has an issue with you, you'll know. Like as a roommate, if Aries is not feeling something, they'll let you know. And in my humble opinion, that is a much better situation than someone that doesn't share how they're feeling with you, but then the energy is off. You know what I mean? Like they're not really expressing what it is that's bothering them. So now you're just feeling all this awkward and weird tension in the home. And Aries is not one of those people. That is a positive of living with Aries placement, is that if there's an issue, they will talk about it. And maybe they'll be a little too direct to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, you're coming at me. But that's just how Aries communicates whenever they're passionate about something. And when you're ruled by Mars, you're passionate about everything. If you have anything to say, you're probably passionate about it, you know, as an Aries or Scorpio placement, you know what I'm talking about? So with an Aries roommate, with an Aries placement roommate, you're always gonna know where you stand with them. And I respect that. Okay, next we have Taurus. So for Taurus, this is what it's like living with you. This is the cozy roommate with the most boundaries. Yeah. Taurus genuinely likes to keep their environment as comfortable and cozy as possible because they do not see themselves leaving said environment in the foreseeable future. Truly, they would love to just stay there forever. If they could get married there, if they could just die there. No, literally, like who loves their home more than Taurus? Arguably Cancer, right? So Cancer and Taurus are those two signs where their home means everything to them because they genuinely enjoy spending time at home. That is where they want to be most of the time, right? So they're going to create a very cozy environment. That's the roommate that wants to be with you. And don't get me wrong, Taurus loves alone time, but like they'll love being on the couch, watching a movie. Like they want to experience that quality time with you if they like you. Now, if you're just roommates and your Taurus roommate's not hanging out with you, they don't like you. I don't know what to tell you. They don't feel cozy around you, because if a Taurus really, really enjoys being with you, they're gonna love just kicking it, eating together, watching a movie, just doing all of that cozy, comfy shit that you do in a home that feels like home. You know what I mean? Because there are homes where you're maybe with roommates, or maybe even some families where it's a home, but it doesn't feel like home. You don't feel like it's a sanctuary because the energies are just all over the place maybe. But in a comfortable home that Taurus enjoys being in, yeah, they're very cozy. They're going to make you feel safe. When you come home, you're going to feel like it is a sanctuary, because that is the energy that Taurus provides for the place that they consider home. Now, in terms of the most boundaries, yeah, Taurus knows what it is that they like. And like I said, because this is their favorite place in the world, they have certain processes in place, right? Taurus can be rigid when it comes to their home life. They like things a certain way. Like even though the other two earth signs, maybe the ones that are more rigid when it comes to work, or just Virgo when it comes to everything. And Taurus is like that chill earth sign. It's still an earth sign and it's still Venus ruled. So Taurus knows what feels good, and they steer away from what doesn't feel good, you know, Venus ruled. So because of that, they know what they like at their home. They know what kind of energy they like. They know what needs to be in the fridge. They know, you know what I mean? Like they have these habits when it comes to their home life. So of course, if someone comes in and tries to change any of those habits or somehow affect their daily routine, Taurus is going to come at you and they're going to let you know, do not play with me right now. Like, this is my home. This is how things are done. You're not going to destabilize something that I've worked so hard to make comfortable for me. And I think it's interesting because when you think about it, especially with roommates, like roommates, not like people living together that are together or like families. But for roommates, you really have to consider the fact that everyone has a different relationship with how long they're home versus out, right? When you have someone like a Taurus that prefers to be home, they have stricter practices in place of what they expect out of their home, because they're the ones that are spending the most time at home, right? Whereas let's say there's a Gemini. Geminis love to be out and about, so maybe they don't care as much about how things are done at the home or how things are placed at the home because they're not home that often, right? So it doesn't affect them that often. But if you're living with a Taurus, because they enjoy being home, they're going to be more strict with their boundaries when it comes to how things are done at the home. Next, we have Gemini. This is what it's like living with a Gemini. You'll know the drama before anyone else. Yeah. Gemini has the tea. Let me tell you, these air signs just be knowing everyone's business, but Gemini more than anyone. I just have to say, yes, even more than Libra, because I think it would be between Libra and Gemini when it comes to who knows the most, like whose hair is full of secrets, right? That's why our hair is so big, because it's full of secrets. And who is it when it comes to Gemini and Libra? It's Gemini, because although Libra is a social queen, Gemini, because they're Mercury ruled, I think they have more capacity when it comes to information, right? Libra is more so how people make me feel, and they'll remember more about people that they like, you know, Venus ruled. Whereas Gemini, to them, it's just information. They want to know as much about all of their test subjects, which is everyone in the world. So you are definitely going to know all the tea. If you have a Gemini roommate, if you live with a Gemini, if your lover's a Gemini, if you have Geminis in your family, home, you are going to know what's going on with everybody. They're always going to be either on the phone or they're going to be talking to you. Like if Gemini is quiet, they're sleeping. You know what I mean? Other than that, they're going to be chatting. They're going to be chatting to you. They want to talk. That's how they fill their cup, right? Geminis, by communicating. So they're chatters. They're going to want to talk to you. And if you're like most people, you're going to like how much information they have, and you're going to love all the juicy tea that they have. And if Gemini goes out, they're going to come back and they're going to have a story. They're going to have a story, and it's going to be interesting because Gemini is just such a good storyteller. So I would say actually it's really funny. I was talking about Taurus and Gemini. I feel like Taurus would enjoy Gemini coming home and telling them the tea about what was going on in the crazy outside world, because Taurus can just sit there and be entertained, and Gemini is like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and Taurus is just cozy, but they're still reliving the mess that is happening outside, because Gemini just can't help but share their chaotic stories, you know, about life. And that to me is fun. So if you want to be entertained, find yourself a Gemini roommate, because these chatterboxes, they're never ever gonna run out of stories to share with you. And I also see Gemini as being the types of roommates that bring a lot of people around. You know, they're just social creatures like that. So they're gonna have people coming in and out of the home all the time, for the most part, Gemini placements, just because of how social they are and just because of how much they enjoy other people's company, right? Next, we have Cancer. Okay, for Cancer, it's you'll never have better soup. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, it comes back to comfort also for Cancer. I think a lot of Cancers enjoy cooking and enjoy baking, whatever it is, whatever their thing is. But for the most part, Cancers are really, really great chefs, and they're really, really good at feeding your soul, whether it is through emotional availability or actually feeding your soul through cooking for you, baking for you, having your favorite cookies. You know what I mean? Like, they're just so good at that. Cancers know comfort. And they want to make you feel safe. They love mothering you. I think this is the type of roommate where even if you're not living with your family, it's gonna feel like you're living with family when you're living with a Cancer placement, just because of how much they take their home life seriously as well. And they want everyone to feel like family. So like I said, even though it may not be the family home, but you have a Cancer roommate, or maybe it's your first time living with your partner and they're a Cancer, they're gonna do everything they can to make this feel like a family home and make this feel like a place where everyone feels safe to share their emotions, to bond together in a way that makes you feel safe, you know? And also with Cancers, because they're moon ruled, they can be moody. So they can also be moody roommates, you know, depending on their emotions and how good they are at emotionally regulating themselves. But for Cancer, obviously, much like Taurus, this is their safe space and where they like to stay, right? Often Cancers can be homebodies in that sense. So because of that, they feel safe to go through the motions of their emotions, in their home. So you're going to experience that. You're going to see that. And like I said, there's different levels to it. Obviously, there's Cancers that do not know how to emotionally regulate themselves at all. So they're going to be up and down and all over the place. And it may be too much for you living with them to experience that. But also, I think that's the beauty of having a close relationship with a Cancer placement. They will provide so much emotional, you know, healing for you. But at the end of the day, the person that provides that much emotional healing, of course, they're going through their own emotional, you know, turmoil as well, depending on the day. So you have to be understanding of that fact. No one is that emotionally available and able to tune into your emotions if they don't go through, you know, these ups and downs themselves. So that is the beauty of Cancer. They will provide that safe space for you emotionally. Next, we have Leo. Okay, gotta be comfortable with cuddling. Actually, you know what's funny? You know how Leo's, you know, it corresponds with like the lion, right? Like the king of the jungle. You know those videos that you see on like Animal Planet and shit where like the lions are like sitting next to each other and they're like rubbing, you know, each other's heads on each other? Like they're very cuddly creatures, no? Lions, from what we see. And that very much goes with Leos, right? Cuddling. Like Leos love affection. They love giving affection. They like receiving affection. And they love attention, right? So I think with that comes the need to connect with each other physically, right? Again, not every roommate is gonna want to connect with each other physically, but even platonically, right? Like this is someone that, yeah, loves to lay next to you, like let's watch a movie, or like let's get ready together. Like they love being around you and they give you their warmth, right? Like they genuinely enjoy being around people because they want to share their warmth and they want to receive your warmth too, right? Like the beauty of human connection, Leo really enjoys that. That is what makes them feel alive, is connecting with people and really feeding each other through attention, right? Leos are really good at being there for you, but they also expect the same back. Like they want to feel that warmth from you. They want you to give them verbal affirmations and make them feel seen, right? So yeah, Leos in general, like when you're living with a Leo, they're gonna want to be involved in your life. They're gonna want to know what's going on in your life. They're very social creatures in that sense too, but they also expect you to care about what it is that they're doing, right? Because they're gonna come and talk to you about their life and they want you to be fully present, because Leos, when they love you and they're operating at their highest vibration, they're very, very available to their people, the people that they consider, you know, people that they love. They're very available to you to share what it is that you're going through, right? So they can be similar in that sense with Gemini. Like they want that attention, they crave that attention, and they want to give you that attention too, right? And we can't negate the fact that Leo is ruled by the fifth house of play, right? And pleasure, right? Your inner child, all of that. I feel like it's very important for Leos to be in a space in their home where they can really find joy, right? I mean, I think everyone would want joy in their house. I mean, you know what? No, some of y'all don't. Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all don't. I'm sorry. Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all don't prioritize it, I should say. And Leos prioritize play. So they want to be around people that enjoy that as well. They're going to be the kind of roommate that wants to make living there a fun place to be, right? Like even though we're home, that doesn't mean it needs to be boring. Next we have Virgo. What it's like living with Virgo. You need to follow the rules or else. Or else your shit's gonna be at the front door by tomorrow. Actually. Who was that nanny lady? She had her own show where she would come and she would set those kids straight. That nanny lady, let's look it up actually. Oh, it was called Super Nanny. Yeah, it doesn't get more intense than that. Super Nanny. I wonder what her sign is. So if you guys don't know, Super Nanny was basically this lady that would come and like put these kids, these bad kids, in their place. Like in their place. It's like bar rescue, but for kids. Like she would come and she would set these kids straight, and I loved it. I genuinely loved it. I'm sorry, I can't with bad kids. I know, like, you know, kids are kids, but there are some kids that like, I just don't know. I don't want to blame the parents all the time, but it's like, what did you do? What boundaries did you not set for your kid to come and tell you you're a stupid little bitch at the age of like 8? You know what I mean? Like something went wrong there, you know, from the ages of 1 to 8. How did this happen? But yeah, she was not afraid of no kids, and she would put them in their place. And that to me gives Virgo energy. You know what I mean? Like Virgo is kind of that war general when it comes to their home. Like they like things a certain way. And a lot of times it's going to, not all the time, it's going to affect their nervous system if things aren't in the order that they want them to be, if things aren't as clean as they want them to be, right? Because it affects them more than other people, more than a lot of other people, because Virgo is ruled by the sixth house. The sixth house has to do with your health and your routine and your nervous system, right? So a lot of times Virgos take their home life seriously because, even if they don't know astrology, because of how much it affects their internal world. And I think this is a fact to me. you know, your environment is a reflection of how you feel on the inside. So if you're living in a messy space, if there's clutter everywhere, if you're a hoarder, like there are things happening within you that, you know, need your attention. And the first step is you cleaning your space. Like ultimately, when you have a clean, organized space, you're gonna have a clean, organized, as much as possible, you know, mind. Your internal world is going to be at a different state. Because to me, it's a vibration thing. You're setting yourself up for success. You're letting your future self know, hey, I cared enough about you to clean this space so you're in a better headspace, right? So you are more calm to get things done or to be a happier person. So you're really setting your future self for success. And Virgos understand that, and Virgos know that they can get more done during their day if their environment is clean. So that's why I think a lot of times, yes, they get the clean freak allegations and all that stuff, but it's for a reason. It's because it directly affects them and their life more than the average person. Okay, you guys, I'm actually looking up the super nanny, her birth chart. Her name is Jo Frost, because I need to know, like, does she have Virgo placements in there? Maybe some Cancer. Oh, she is a Cancer, Sun, Leo, Moon. Look at that. She has the luminaries in her Sun and Moon. Let's see what's going on here. Do you have any Virgo placements? No, she has 0 Virgo placements. Okay, that is fine. Okay, yeah, she has Moon in Leo, Mercury in Cancer, Venus in Gemini. Yeah, I mean, it also makes sense because it's the home, right? So I think that's actually very interesting because she's a Cancer and Cancer rules over the home, and she's going into people's homes and setting their kids straight and making the home a more comfortable place to live for everybody, hopefully after each session. Oh my God. Okay, I just took a midway Benjamin break. If you know, you know. Let's get back into it. Okay, so Libra, what it's like living with a Libra. Isn't it perfect? It should be perfect. I haven't even read it yet. The most beautiful place you'll ever live. Yep, absolutely. If you didn't know, now you know, okay? Libras are also very much affected by their environment, right? When it comes to anything that has to do with Venus, same thing with Taurus, right? Libras genuinely, it affects them. When something doesn't look good, when something isn't balanced, just as much as it would affect them internally, you know, they are constantly searching for that perfect balance, it affects them externally too. And their home is a space that is filled with luxury and balance and beauty and safety and just anything that feels good, right? And Libras just have the eye. They have the eye for anything beautiful, whether it's people, places, fashion, music. They just have the eye and the ears and everything in between when it comes to things that are beautiful. So when it comes to their home life, they want this to be a beautiful space that they enjoy living in, but that they also enjoy bringing people to, because Libras are social creatures and they love bringing their people to their home. Like I would say when it comes to a family, I could see the Libra placements being the ones that love hosting people the most, much like Cancers too, just because of how proud Libra is of their space. And because of that, they want to show it off. They want people to come over. They enjoy being social in their home, right? Because there are people that love their home, but they don't necessarily like to be social in their home and bring people to their home. Libra is one of those people that is very much invested when it comes to how their home looks, how it feels, but they also enjoy bringing people to that space because they're such social creatures. And like I said, they're going to be the types of roommates that are, you know, making sure the space looks pretty. There's nice artwork, the colors go together, the plants are thriving. They care about all of these things that bring life to the space. I mean, truly, if you're looking for a roommate and you found a Libra, good job. Like, honestly, you won. I just have to say, they're the easiest people to get along with. They are. And generally, they're clean for the most part. And they like to make, you know, your home look good. You're just going to enjoy living with them. Like, truly, I think Libras are at the top of the list when it comes to winning the lottery in terms of zodiac signs that you would want as a roommate. Next, we have Scorpio. What it's like living with Scorpio. You will shed your ego at least 4 times. Yeah. I mean, is this a roommate or did you call for a therapist because you got a 2-in-1 baby? depending on also where they are in their healing journey and their investment in you. But also, I don't see Scorpio just living with anybody. Like, we're very private people. So if we're thinking like roommates, yeah, Scorpio is very much, you know, hyper aware of who it is that they're sharing a space with, because we're such private people, right? So for the most part, if we're living with you, you know, we probably care about you and we're invested in you, right? And because of that, yeah, you will shed your ego at least four times living with a Scorpio, because first of all, Scorpio notices everything. They notice everything about everyone. You know, we're such great observers, and we are very much interested in your behavior because we feel like your behavior will shed a lot of light into who you are and your character. And if we care about you and you come to us with your problems, which people love to do for Scorpios, we want to understand, you know, who you are and why you act the way you act and what it is that you're doing, so we can give you our best advice, right? Like, that is why Scorpios can be so good at healing people, because we observe things and we read in between the lines, and we just have, you know, really, really strong intuition when it comes to people and their needs and their shadow side and why they're going through what they're going through, right? So if a Scorpio is living with you, whether it's your partner or a friend or just roommates, yeah, they're gonna notice everything about you. And for the most part, Scorpios, we feel no problem sharing these things with you, right? And we generally do it because we care about you, right? For the most part, we care about you. Unless Scorpio is like going through some shit and they've been keeping some shit in, then they'll tell you everything they've noticed about you unprovoked. And you're gonna be like, damn, like, I didn't know you felt this way about me. And Scorpio's like, yeah, everyone feels this way, but I just have the guts to tell you, and you're welcome. You know what I mean? Like, Scorpio will tell you things about you that maybe you have been trying to hide from the world or from yourself, right? Things that they notice. So living with a Scorpio is ultimately like living with a big mirror all the time. And like I said, there's low vibrational ones and high vibrational ones. And if we're talking about high vibrational Scorpios, they're going to get deep with you. They're going to have those conversations with you. You can come to them about anything, and they're going to give you their real honest takes about your life and you, and, you know, why it is that you're going through what you're going through, because like I said, we notice everything. So when you come to us for advice, we take into consideration everything that we know about you, which is a lot, because Scorpios are natural born detectives. Next, we have Sagittarius. What it's like living with a Sagittarius. You'll probably never see them. Yeah, like, I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about like the other signs that like love being home. Yeah, Sagittarius is on the other end of that spectrum. If Taurus and Cancer are on one end of the spectrum of having a home and wanting to be there forever and loving being home, Sagittarius is on the other side of that spectrum as someone who wants to be home the least amount of time possible. Like, they want to be out and about, they want to be traveling, they want to be experiencing new adventures, right? Like, that is the whole thing with Sagittarius, is being free enough to leave home, right? Like, Sagittarius is, let's say for example, you're under 18, you're still living with your family. I see Sagittarius children being the kind of children that they can't wait to leave, because they want that freedom to be able to be out whenever they want to be, stay out as long as they want to stay out, because to them, the adventures of the world are endless. And if you stay home all the time, you're suppressing, you know, your ability to experience new things and meet new people and, you know, be part of new cultures. There's just so much out in the world that Sagittarius is interested in, that they want to learn more about, and they feel like they're very limited when they have to stay home physically, right? So Sagittarius is the type of roommate that, yeah, probably won't be home often. And, you know, some people may love that, right? Like, some people love it when their roommate's not home. Maybe you're a Taurus and you're like, you know what? I don't even want to see my roommate. I want to pretend I don't have a roommate. Find yourself a Sagittarius roommate, because they're going to be out and about all the time. But also, like Gemini, they're going to have stories to share with you. So you can still have that connection with them, because Sagittarius is, when you're someone that is that social and that loves to travel and that loves to, you know, be part of new adventures on the daily, they're going to have the best stories. They're also going to have some really great stories about their findings in the outside world and what it is that happened to them. And they will add that dramatic flair of fire signs to their adventures. So it just makes them, I think, some of the funnest people to live with. I was lucky enough to have a Sagittarius best friend. So genuinely the best time, because they're fun To me, they're one of the funnest signs. Next, we have Capricorn. What it's like living with Capricorn. Will be your parent if you fuck up. Yeah, you didn't ask for this, but you needed this. That's what Capricorn roommates are like, right? They're like, I am, once again, helping you for free. And for that, you should bow down and thank me. Thank Zaddy Saturn for telling you about you. Kind of like Scorpio, kind of like Virgo. Because Capricorn also notices people's shortcomings, right? They understand that people lie to themselves often. I think when it comes to how honest you are with yourself, Capricorn is at the top of that list. And when you're honest with yourself, there's this serious undertone between you and your relationship with yourself, because Capricorns are the most disciplined sign, one of the most disciplined signs. So because of that, they have a very, very honest relationship with themselves, their expectations when it comes to themselves. So that is also how they view other people, right? That is why they have a low tolerance for people that make excuses, right? Because they keep it 100% honest with themselves and what it is that they need to do. And if they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. And if they say they're going to do something at a certain time, they're going to do it at that time, right? So they will be that parent, even as a roommate, and let you know, like, what is your excuse? Like, why are you doing it like that? Why did you do it at this time? I thought we decided on this time. They can be very orderly like that. And, you know, they bring this business mindset, Capricorn, right? Capricorn energy brings this business, no bullshit mindset to every aspect of their life. So, of course, that's also going to come forth when it comes to their living situation and their home life. They make no excuses for how things are done. If they have time to do certain things, and they will give you that zaddy energy or that mommy energy of like, what are you doing? Why are you doing like that? So if you don't want that, if you feel like, you know, that energy is too much for you, yeah, maybe Capricorn placements won't be a good fit for you when it comes to living situations. But if you like a home that is structured, then you're gonna love living with a Capricorn placement, because to them, the home, a happy home, is a well-oiled machine. It runs smoothly, things are done in a certain way. And that is just that. And I've come to realize, yeah, for most of the earth signs, that's how it goes, right? They are very, very structured when it comes to their home life. Next, we have Aquarius. So what it's like living with Aquarius. Texting you from the other room. Yeah, it's true. Aquarius is the social loner. And I say that in the sense that because they're an air sign, they can get along with anyone from any group, from any walk of life, from any age, right? Like Aquarius finds a way to connect with everybody. They can truly be the person that brings a community together because they can be that central person that gets along with everyone. But when it comes to their home life, they like their space, right? Aquarius likes to process things a certain way, like day-to-day things, everything. It doesn't have to be a big fight. They just process things, everything in their own way, in their own time. And that requires a certain level of privacy as well. Aquarius is the most private out of the air signs. And because of that, their home is very much a sanctuary to them as well. And they are the types of people that won't always be available to you just because they're home. You know what I mean? Like, just because they're home doesn't mean they're home. Like, doesn't mean that they're available to talk to you, to do something. Like, they genuinely want that peace of mind knowing that they can be invisible, you know? On purpose, they want to be invisible. And yeah, sure, they can come outside their room and tell you something, but they don't even want to deal with that. So they're just going to text you from the other room. They're really good at, you know, maintaining that space, and they need that space. Aquarius placements require a lot of alone time to figure out, you know, again, their life, their emotions, if they're dealing with their emotions, if they feel like dealing with their emotions today. So a lot of times, don't take it personally if an Aquarius placement is home, but they're not talking to you. Like, they're not mad at you. They just need their own space to do their own thing. And I think a lot of people just assume that Aquarius is going to be social and giddy all the time because they're an air sign, but they are Uranus ruled, right? And Saturn ruled. So because of that, they're oddballs and they do things differently, and they're not always going to be in the mood to be social and chatty, and that doesn't mean that they're angry with you. It's just the vibe that they're on. All right, last but not least, what it's like living with Pisces. Fresh cut flowers are always present. That's cute. That's adorable. I would say yes, sure. Like that's like a nice, I think, like over the surface one. But for me, I feel like what would be like living with Pisces roommates is that life just feels like a dream, a fantasy. Time doesn't move in the way that you think it does when you have Pisces energy around you, because they themselves, they don't really believe in the concept of time, and sure, they have to hold a job and they have to do things in the society to, I don't know, thrive or live or be able to function as a human who pays their bills. But genuinely, if they could pick, they would just be in their own fantasy land, dreamland, doing things their own way, and they wouldn't even look at a clock for the rest of their life. So I think they very much bring that energy into their home life as well. They don't like to have a timeline of this is when we eat, this is when we do this. Like, no. To them, it's just going to be, we'll do what we want to do when we feel like doing it, how we feel like doing it, right? Like they don't want that order. To them, that also, much like Pisces, the other Jupiter ruled sign, it feels like you're draining their soul. You're sucking their soul dry if you are someone that lives with the Pisces and you want them to do things at a certain time, do things a certain way, because that messes with their, you know, mutable water energy of doing things as it comes and flowing with the energy of the day, right? They don't like to have a schedule in place at all because it drains their soul. So if you are living with the Pisces, really just expect every day also, much like Aries, to be different, right? Because they're leading with their emotions, and their emotions are ever changing because they're a mutable water sign. So one day Pisces can be super excitable and social, and then one day they can be retreating, right? And maybe like Aquarius, they're going to be in another room napping and they don't want to be disturbed, right? Expect a lot of napping. That's the main one, really. Expect a lot of napping and sleeping. Pisceans really need to be in that dream state more than other people to feel okay in this reality and in this world. All right, you guys, that is the end of this video. Let me know what sign you are and if this fit your vibe, or let me know the worst roommate you ever had and what their sign was, because I want to know the tea, and let me know why they were the worst roommate. Like, I want to know what they did to bother you, because that's where the real tea lies. Okay, I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, that helps me out so much, and I'll see you guys at the end of the week for Yap Therapy. Bye, you guys.